We hear it all the time. Choose an emotionally available love. But oftentimes, we are not taught what an emotionally available love actually looks like. Hence, we chase unpredictability, mistaking it for passion. We chase butterflies and adrenaline rush, mistaking that for chemistry. And oftentimes, we end up going after something that's truly a trauma bond and think, okay, that is what an exciting relationship actually looks like. But when real love actually comes in, it's calm. It is safe kind of love. But our nervous system is so wired to actually be dealing with all that kind of unpredictability and emotional turbulence that a safe kind of love does not actually truly feel safe. Instead, it feels boring. And yes, maybe sometimes a safe kind of love does feel boring, but wouldn't you rather be in something that brings your nervous system safety and peace over being in a kind of connection that actually triggers you again and again and that actually puts you in a state of anxiety again and again? So let's talk about what an emotionally available love looks like so you can start rewiring your nervous system and create a new blueprint of love in your life. And so that you also stop settling for bare minimum treatment in love and you actually start having expectations, standards, and boundaries in a good connection. So, if you're new here, I'm Vesh and I'm a men's relationship coach and I help men heal with their traumas, attachment issue, and wounded masculinity in order for them to pursue meaningful connection with women. Now, if you also want to work one on one with me to heal your abandonment traumas, your attachment style, and even to build that masculine confidence, self worth, self esteem, you can reach out to me through Instagram, where I would be doing subconscious rewiring and reprogramming for you using tools like hypnotherapy. Send me the keyword coach so that I know you're reaching out to me to book a session with me. So, the first thing I want to talk about is that emotionally available relationship is not performative, it's actually present. It does not just show up when things are great. It does not just show up when, things are sunshine and rainbows. It shows up even when things get uncomfortable in a connection. Oftentimes, you guys end up in a relationship with someone who pulls away when things get difficult, when conflict starts happening, and those kind of relationship is not something that can be labeled as emotionally available relationship, because it's very easy to show up for someone when things are smooth, but it's very hard and it takes a lot of emotional bandwidth in a person to show up for someone when conflicts are happening, when things are not so easy. And let's be honest, conflicts are inevitable. Even the most healthiest couples in relationship have conflict. However, what's more important is to have that emotional bandwidth to move through that. Every relationship has seasons. There will be summer seasons and there will be winter seasons as well. But it's more about having the mindset that, hey, it's not you versus me. Instead, it's us versus the problem. This is the mindset that will actually get you through the toughest phase, even in the relationship. So, in an emotionally available relationship, they do not disappear for 1 or 2 days after a disagreement or a conflict. They do not send you half hearted check ins to check if you are feeling okay. And they don't also make you feel that you are too much or you are asking a lot if you are maybe just asking for something like clarity and constant communication. In a way, they don't make you feel like you are a burden. Instead, they show up for you. They care for you. They actually care about how their absence would affect you. And they also care about making things right, even in the connection and the relationship. And this is not because, they are perfect. We all have flaws. Let's be honest about it. But it's more about being present. It's more about actually putting, all those negative triggers away and actually showing up for the person in front of you. This is what an emotionally available relationship looks like. The second thing I want to talk about is that they actually share their inner world. They don't keep things away from you, they don't hide what they're feeling. And when someone is actually emotionally available, they do not actually just listen, they also share. They end up saying what are the things that's actually affecting them. They end up saying what are the things they would like to improve in the relationship and what you both can do together to actually improve the quality of the relationship. So, in a way, they are proactive instead of reactive. So, instead of actually, blaming you once you do not do anything, She might actually show up and she might tell you what she needs in a connection. And actually communicating about your needs is a very hard thing if you think about it. You have also been in position where it was difficult for you to communicate what you truly needed. And it's the same way for people. It takes a lot of emotional maturity to actually have that healthy amount of self love to communicate what you truly need in a relationship instead of, fearing that maybe if you speak up about what exactly your needs are, the other person would end up leaving you. So you also get to know what their fears are, what their insecurities are, and you don't have to keep guessing what's going on in their mind. They also do not use sarcasm or, jokes to actually communicate with you, and instead they're straightforward about what they're truly feeling. You know for a fact what is actually happening within them without actually having to ask them 10 to 20 times what are they truly thinking. Because an available love actually invites you in. It does not build a wall around it and say that, they would rather believe in independence. Because if independence was the biggest thing for them, they might as well be single, right? But if you guys did choose to be in a relationship, you guys have to be vulnerable and open up about what you both are going through in a connection. So, an emotionally available love actually invites someone in and tells them, hey, here is what I'm going through. Here is what I need in a relationship. What about you? What are your needs? Let's make this work together. And you don't have to decode someone as if, they're a mystery or puzzle to be solved. They share it because they also want their needs to be met and they want this relationship to actually work out. The third thing is conflict feels like repair and not rejection. It's not that, a healthy relationship won't have conflicts. But what is more important and present in a healthy relationship is this thing known as repair. Repair after conflict. So, do they actually make you feel guilty when you are going through conflict? Do they actually bring up the old things that you guys have gone through in the conflict? Do they weaponize your insecurities or do they actually weaponize your shortcomings when you are in a conflict? If these things are happening, then that's not a healthy kind of love because you cannot use someone's weakness against them. That is not something that would lead to a sustainable long term relationship. Instead, they invite you in. They do not actually make you feel guilty when you voice out your needs, and they don't even shut down or explode when you speak up about what you truly need in a relationship. In a healthy relationship, your partner should be slowing down to understand your perspective. It's also about both people letting each other speak and understanding each other's perspective. As I said, it's not you versus me, but it's us versus a problem. This is a mindset that you have to adopt in a conflict. So, even after the conflict has gone through, right, do both the people actually take the time to apologize to each other? Because a conflict is co created by two people. Maybe one person started the conflict, but the other person also participated. Both people have to take accountability and both people have to apologize to each other. It can't be, only one person is apologizing and the other person is blaming that person for showing up. Even if one person says that, hey, I'm sorry, I did this, the other person can say, I'm sorry, I got mad at you. This is how you guys work together as a team in an emotionally available relationship. The next thing is you actually feel emotionally seen and not spiritually starved in these kind of emotionally available relationship. You feel seen not for what you do or not for what you actually pretend to be, but for who you truly are. This person knows you so well. This person knows your strength and your weakness and still accepts you with or without your flaws. Now, this also does not mean that, you can take advantage of the weakness because that is not a part of emotionally available relationship. And in a way, in these relationships, you don't have to over explain for what you're feeling. You don't have to walk on eggshells and you don't have to hide your emotions from the other person. You're free to express whatever is it that you truly need. And this person sees you after that. This person understands you and this person kind of maybe even reassures you for that matter of fact. And there's actually room for your needs without making you feel guilty for it. In a trauma bonded relationship, whenever you express your needs, you end up feeling like, oh, you did the wrong thing. They make you feel as if you are wrong for having needs, and this is also known as gaslighting in a relationship. But in an emotionally available relationship, you can ask for reassurance without actually feeling guilty. You can even say things like, "Hey, I felt abandoned when you did that to me. I felt disrespected when you did that to me. I did not feel cared for when you did that to me." And when you express these things, it's not that, the person deflects that back and says that, "But hey, you also did this to me. You also did that to me." Instead, they have the bandwidth to actually take accountability in these kind of relationship. And it can't be, one person always saying this to the other person. Both people have to listen to each other's needs and not make them feel guilty about it. Available love does not actually make you feel guilty for your needs. It actually holds space for it, even when your inner child is actually getting triggered in these environments where conflicts are happening. The next thing that happens in an emotionally available relationship is that you are actually moving at a safe pace. You don't feel like you are chasing this person. You don't feel like, you're playing games with this person. You don't have to constantly be thinking that, hey, where is it that you both stand in this relationship? Everything is so clear. Your nervous system is safe and relaxed because of the pacing. There is no second guessing at any given time. You also do not feel rushed into intimacy before you have truly actually built your trust in the relationship. And you also do not have to feel like, where is this going? You don't have to question, okay, are we in a connection or not? Because the communication is very clear from the very beginning. You also do not feel like you are the only one who is trying to make the relationship work and you are the only one who is actually trying to put in effort. There is a mutual effort that actually exists in emotionally available love. No one is chasing the other person, whereas both people actually want to make the relationship work. So there is a mutual unfolding. There is a sense of safety and there is no mystery or suspense because you both know what's going on inside each other's world. And the last thing that happens in an emotionally available relationship is you do not have to perform for anything. You can be authentically yourself. You do not have to put on a mask in front of a person. You don't always have to be active in the relationship. You are also allowed to do your things. You are given your freedom. You are given your independence, and you are not in each other's face all the time. Healthy space is also a great thing for a relationship. You guys do not have to talk 24/7. You guys do not have to call each other for 5 6 hours because you both need to have a life outside. And that is very important for a long term sustainable relationship because when you guys are in each other's face the whole time, it kills the polarity in a relationship. So, this is why a healthy amount of space is also required where you both can individually work on your purpose, your life, your mission, and then you also build a life together, which is a shared life, taking into consideration what each other's needs also are. In a way, there has to be value alignment, and in a way, there has to be compatibility in whatever area is it that you guys are working in or how you decide to build your schedules around each other. So, emotionally available love feels like you're coming back home. It's so safe to your nervous system where you are not even feeling anxious all the time. You are at peace, you love your life, you are in love with her. Everything about life actually feels good when you are with this kind of a person who allows you to be in such an emotionally safe relationship. So I just want you to know that you do not have to chase anything that is inconsistent, and any time any connection or relationship makes you even this much anxious in your body, that is not the right one for you. I truly believe that if it's meant to work, the path will not have so much resistance. You guys will not have to fight for each other so much because you guys mutually choose each other. And you don't have to settle for almost love, and you don't have to be in that scarcity mindset that if it's not this person, it would be no one and I'll be single for the rest of your life. Because that's the mindset that actually is going to make sure that you end up in a wrong relationship. So, the sooner you get rid of the scarcity mindset, the sooner you would actually find that kind of healthy love in your life. I hope this episode was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.